Hey there. I've been getting an awful lot of questions in regards to the new Equinox system that hasn't even come out yet. It is going to be coming out at the end of May, the 30th. But I did kind of give you a behind the scenes sort of what's going on. And ever since this has happened, I've been flooded with questions about the Equinox system. And I did say that it solves a lot of problems that traders are having. So I'm going to try to describe the Equinox system essentially in a nutshell. Now, what I've discovered is the market has a sense of balance to it. It's either balanced or it's off balance. Now, I've dubbed this market equilibrium. When the market is balanced or centered, it is at a state of equilibrium. It's a state where it is really relaxed and recovered from any kind of move that it has made. Once it's at this state of equilibrium, the market can then make really big moves. It can move quite well away from these points of equilibrium. Now, the trouble with equilibrium is it's always moving. The market moves up and down all the time. So I needed to find a way to kind of track that equilibrium. Now, again, I've discovered how to do this. We found a way to track equilibrium. And when the market gets to these levels, then it has the greatest potential to move the furthest. On the other side is when the market moves away from equilibrium, I've discovered that for the most part, it moves a certain distance away from equilibrium before it wants to return. There's two variations of this. It'll move so far a certain percentage away from equilibrium, and it will do that most of the time. It'll get to this certain level and then want to come back to equilibrium. And then there's a second part where it can get overextended and reach beyond this most frequently hit level to a secondary level. Once it gets to the secondary level, the market is what I would consider to be extremely overextended and will need to come back to equilibrium. Everything is encompassed in one indicator that I've called the equichannel. It's the Forex Equinox channel indicator, the equichannel, and it shows where equilibrium is, and it shows where the overextended levels are, both of them, where the overextension number 1 is and where the overextension number 2 is. And with this indicator, we have a really good idea where the best trading opportunities are going to be when price is at equilibrium and when the really unsafe trading opportunities are. Price is going to explode away from equilibrium, but then once it gets to these overextended levels, it is not going to want to continue to move in that direction anymore. And instead, it'll want to return to equilibrium. And this is really it in a nutshell. With this equichannel indicator, I mean, there's other stuff as well, of course. And we have the price line. We've got an Equiscape indicator that really adds to this. But the foundation, though, gives us these ideas as to where we can trade and where we should not be trading. I mentioned in the last video that recently I found a lot of traders are trying to trade markets that are overextended and doing very poorly. You get into really the top or the bottoming out of a market and expect that the market will continue to move in that direction when it's overextended and it needs to return to its sense of balance, to its sense of equilibrium. And with this indicator, we now have these levels established. So when we get a market getting to these overextended levels, we just don't trade in that direction of the market movement. We can trade in the opposite direction. They're not going to be big trades, but we do have the opportunity to trade towards these equilibrium levels. And then once we're at the equilibrium levels, that's a mouthful after a little while. Once we're at these levels of balance, then the market has the greatest opportunity to make the biggest moves. And this, again, this is going to solve an awful lot of problems for an awful lot of traders, when to trade and when not to trade. So that's it in a nutshell. Once this nutshell is like 5 minutes long, but that's essentially what it is. Market sense of balance. where are the best trading opportunities where the market can move potentially the furthest, and where are the worst trading opportunities that we should just leave the market alone. So I hope that answers a few questions. Again, I'm going to keep you posted as far as the process or the evolution of this coming to market goes. So we're about, it's not quite a month away until the system is launched. So there's still some time that I'll be working in the new Equinox members area, getting it all set up and building really the page to let you guys kind of see the examples as to what it is that we're doing. The examples are going to include the indicator. I'm not going to hide anything with this. We're not going to blur anything out. So when you start seeing some of the trade examples, I'm going to show you the equi channel. I'm going to show you the price line. I'm going to show you the Equiscape indicator and how the whole thing works. All right, I hope that's answered a few questions, and I'll talk to you really soon.